everyone, it's Celeste. Welcome back to my channel. So in this video today, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I maintain my 6 or 7 week old box braids. Yes, it's been a whole 6 to 7 weeks and I'm still going strong. I'm trying to keep them in another 2 to 3 weeks, so hopefully that goes as planned, okay? But yeah, so in this video it's just 3 to 4, I believe, things that I do to help maintain my box braids. So without further ado, let's get into the video. The first tip on how I like to maintain my box braids is actually styling them. Now this right here is my go-to style. It's a half up, half down ponytail, and I think it's extremely easy to do. Also, when your box braids start to get a little old or you know, loosen up a little bit, I think styling them really helps so they still look really neat and like tidy, you know. So this is like my go-to style when I am feeling like I want to still look cute and I don't want to take them out, but I'm trying to keep them up. Okay, so this is what I like to do, and as you guys can see, it's pretty neat still, you know. But yep, that's my first tip on how I maintain my box braids. Make sure you style them, and there's so many different styles that you can do with box braids. A bun, half up, half down. You can do maybe a braided half braided style with them. So yes, like, try to be creative when your box braids get old. That's tip number 1. Alright you guys, so the second thing that I like to do, or the second tip that I'm going to share with you guys to help maintain your box braids, is styling your edges or your baby hairs. I think it just adds that extra little step or that neatness that I personally like. So when the baby hairs when my braids start to get old, I still have a pretty neat hairline, okay? So that is my tip number 2. Make sure to style your edges, you know, keep them neat so you can actually go longer with your box braids. So that is tip number 2. Alright you guys, the third tip that I'm going to share with you guys today on how to maintain box braids is actually using a mousse, or one of these. These are my 2 favorite mousses, but actually using a mousse or styling foam on your actual braids. Now I think this has helped me tremendously keep my hair together neatly. It gives it a nice soft hold, and it also helps with keeping all those extra little hairs down in place. Yeah, so I have been using this one most, as you guys can probably tell, but this is also a great alternative. This is the generic Paul Mitchell sculpting foam, and you guys, I love it. I also use it on my ends just to keep them from getting all frizzy and everything. So yes, make sure you guys are using some type of like leave-in conditioner. I use those as like my leave-in conditioner on my braids, just to help keep them in place. So again, the baby hairs or like the little hairs don't come out the braids, and it's still really neat and put together. So yes, that is tip number 3. Making sure you're using some type of conditioner or leave-in conditioner or styling foam to help keep the braids nice and neat. This one is just what I use whenever I am going to sleep. I do not forget my silk or satin scarf. This is the one that I have here. I've had this for ages upon ages. I use this all the time, and I think that also aids in keeping the hair from actually coming out of the box braids, because my hair is actually probably like down here somewhere, and me sleeping with like a satin or a silk scarf really helps to like lock in the hair and make it lay down. Also, it's another good tip for your baby hair. Once you finish styling your baby hair, to put the scarf on, keep it on for about 10 to 15 minutes and then let it out. And that also helps me too. But yes, stick with your silk scarf. Make sure that you are wearing it, okay? Make sure you're wearing it at night, because you're tossing, you're turning, you're moving, and your hair should not be all over the place, I believe. And if you don't want to do a silk scarf, you could also do a silk or satin pillowcase, and I think that will also help in keeping the hair together, okay? So yes. Alright, you guys, so I didn't share this tip with you guys when I was in the bathroom, but I always like to use some sort of olive oil nourishing sheen spray, or some type of you know, olive oil or something to keep the braids looking shiny and put together. I love the smell of this one. This one is the olive oil, but it's infused with coconut oil, and it smells so good, you guys. So I like to use this right here when I am trying to maintain my box braids. It gives it shine, luster, so it doesn't look dry and like yucky looking, you know. So yes, you guys, again, tip number 1 was to style your box braids, you know, to help keep that style in a little longer. Tip number 2 was to do your baby hairs. Make sure you guys are laying down the hairs to make sure it's nice and neat and put together. Tip number 3 was adding or using a moisturizing leave-in or some sort of foaming styling lotion. And tip number 4 was doing my putting on a silk scarf and sleeping with that at night. And tip number 5, last but not least, was using an oil sheen or some sort of shine spray to keep the hair nice and shiny and luscious. Okay, so those are my tips. Hopefully you guys hopefully those tips helped you guys. If you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate, leave them down below. And without further ado, I will talk to you guys in my next video. Peace.